chào mừng các anh chị. How are you? Anh yêu em. Tôi Nhật Bản. I miss you so much. I'm so glad to be with you. I'm so happy to all of bạn của tôi trong Việt Nam. Chào, how are you? So good to see you. Welcome back to chương trình Dom Jones Show. I'm so glad to be with you today because it is Friday. And I am happy, for one, that it's Friday. I've had a long week. I don't know what kinds of things you do. I have some interesting things to share with you today. I know you see a bunch of little different things on my desk. So there's my Cabo cup, which I'll tell you about. And see, here's the thing. My desk is quirky like me. And so I want you to get to know me and to see a little bit about me as we continue our journey together. So my Cabo cup is from my trip to Mexico that I went on, which I really enjoyed. This white elephant is special to me. It means something to me for sentimental reasons. Maybe I'll tell you the story. And these lovely, beautiful pumpkins are celebrating our holiday season, which we're going to talk about too. And we have liquid death. And I'll tell you more about that as well. And as usual, climb every mountain, because we should climb every mountain in our lives, no matter what is in front of us. So let's talk today a little bit about our Friday activities, okay? So let's get into it and let's talk about what you like to do on a Friday, okay? So when we think about Friday, you know, for me, I say Thursday is baby Friday, and then there's Friday, and Friday's like, yes, it's here, and I love joy and I love loving. So when I think about Friday, I just think about just the end of the week after we've all tried to push ourselves to the best we can, and let's do some self-care time. So do you like to self-care at home? I don't know. Some people love to stay at home and they love being right with close to family, watching shows. I don't know if and you're a Netflix person, if you're a Hulu person, are you an Amazon person? But I know people who love to go home and have popcorn. I know for me, I don't know about you, but I'll tell you something that I like to eat. I love grapes, like actual grapes that you put in the freezer and then you take them out the freezer and you eat them and they're sweet like candy. Oh, I love it so much. So what else? Do you like to go out? Do you like to go out clubbing with your friends? So that's something that I know a lot of people love doing. I know if you're young, chào các em, I know you love to go party. And I had my day where I love to kind of go out when I was in college, and I enjoy having a good time. You got to be careful though, because you know these days people are wild, so you got to be careful. Okay, you got to make sure you take good care of yourself. Something else that people might enjoy doing, and I was writing down some interesting things because I thought this was interesting. Any of you out there foodies? Are any of you foodies? Do you like to go enjoy food? Because honestly, good food at a good restaurant, oh my God, yes. Oh, I love it. Tôi yêu đi ăn, and tôi thích bún riêu và bún chèo. Và sometimes cơm tấm, but I love bún riêu. It's my favorite. And what else do I love? I love all things just delicious and going to yummy restaurants and having a good time. So, you know, when I think of going out and hanging out with friends that you care about and family that you love, isn't that what life is all about? Isn't life all about finding that love and nurturing it and nurturing your love for yourself and for others? So when I think of going out on a Friday night with friends and family, I think about also really recognizing and enjoying the beauty. The beauty of living a life where there's so many people around us just living and enjoying with us, you know, and being at one with us. And so I want to share a little bit about my Fridays. So right here, I want to share some different videos and photos. But first, we're going to start with our first video. And let me tell you what you think about this Friday. So you saw that one, right? That was me dancing and having a good time. I love just enjoying being in the present moment. And the present moment it brings me bình an và hạnh phúc, bình an và hạnh phúc cho đời sống của tôi. The name of the show, chương trình Đàm Jones Show, này là Some Cười Yêu, Live, Laugh, Love. And so I love laughing and loving. I'll show you another video here and tell me what you think. So there you have it. Yeah, sometimes it depends on what I like to do, but in that particular instance, I was working out and bowling because I love working out and with some amazing friends that I enjoy as well. So, you know, Fridays to me are about that. Fridays are about me and you coming together with whether it's you and me, whether it's, you know, friends and family. It's about coming together as one. And I believe in that unity. I believe in that harmony. And I want you to know why it's important to take the time to self-care. The reason why you have to self-care is you have to make sure that you put you as a priority. If it's going out with your friends and having a meal or cocktails, that's fine. If it's, you know, taking the time to enjoy a good meal and be a foodie and yummy foods and have some pho with some nước mắm, then please do that. And if it's staying at home, that's good too. I want you to remember that it's so important to take care of yourself, and Fridays are a very good opportunity to do that. So we're going to take a break now. And when we return, we're going to come back and we're going to talk about the dating apps. What the dating apps are all about. Is it a good thing? Is it a not so good thing? It's modern day love. When we return, we'll get back to it and talk about it. Hello there. So this section we're going to talk about a very interesting topic, and I feel that it is nhiều quan trọng for mọi người because everyone wants to find love. And I think love is such a beautiful thing. I love love. I believe love is the answer to all the world's problems and woes. And so let's talk a little bit about finding love today. So let's go into the dating apps conversation. Okay. When we think about the dating apps, I mean, honestly, who hasn't at this point who is what? 35 maybe, or at least I would say yeah, let's say 1 2 3 4 40, at least 40. Everybody by the age of 40 in some way I feel has used some sort of way of dating online, okay? And talk about climb every mountain, okay? Because it's like that. Okay, it's not easy. Now I have had my experiences with the apps, and so let's go talking about a few of these apps I have listed, and let's see what some of you have had to say about it. Okay, so first let's talk about Tinder. So let's talk a little bit about Tinder. A lot of you have different opinions about what Tinder's about, you know, what it's like. I actually have some interesting, I went out and I asked some people that I know, some friends who have had experiences with Tinder, and to see what they said. So one person, we're going to call them Aulina. That's, we give everyone like, you know, names, okay? Okay, so she said, I've dated on Tinder and I've done so for quite a while. It depends on what you're on there for. If you're on there for a hookup, well then, cool. If you're on there for more, it might be a little bit harder. That's just my take. So that's an interesting thought on Tinder. I personally have not used Tinder. If you have, please comment below. Have you used a Tinder? Tại sao you use Tinder? Like, did you date? Did you find somebody? Do you have friends from Tinder? I mean, I think there are some stories out there. So if you have a story, definitely share, because I've heard some things about Tinder, but I'm not going to speak negatively about anybody, okay? Let's go to the next one. Now we're going to go talk about Bumble, okay? So let's go into Bumble. Bumble is really interesting because Bumble really, I remember it caught a lot of attention, and a lot of people started using it. A lot of people I knew. I actually have had an experience with Bumble that I want to talk about, and I'm not trying to like be negative on any app platform, but I will say that, you know, you have to be careful on apps, in my opinion, because you don't know who's on the other side. And I had an experience, and I will talk about that later because it's kind of like, it's personal, and I want to talk to you about it because I want a lot of young women out there to feel safe, whether you are trong United States or trong Vietnam. I want to help you. Tôi muốn giúp các anh chị. I want to help all of my young, các em, all my young ones, to understand that you have to be careful on these apps. So we'll talk a little bit more about that later. Let's go to Coffee and Bagel, okay? Coffee and Bagel. So I always thought that was a really cute one. Like, how cute to call something Coffee and Bagel. And so I think it's meant for people who want to do the dating app a little bit more, I would say, on the relaxed side. Like, let's go have coffee and a bagel, So I think I like it. I like it. I have gone on a date before on that particular app, and they weren't awful. But did I like being on an app? Me personally, no. I had someone I know who also went on Coffee and Bagel, and notice what, this is a guy, so this is interesting. And so we're going to call him, he wants to be called Mark Zillen. So Mark Zillen, I think it's hard to figure out what his name is, but he said, about Coffee and Bagel, I like Coffee and Bagel because I find that a lot more hipsters are on there, okay? And a lot more people who are not necessarily looking for hookups, although that's there. I see a lot of times people are just want to hang out, have coffee, and just have someone to hang loose with. So I dig that as well. Well, okay. Well, you know, there you have it. I mean, that's another perspective. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, you know, whether it's coffee and bagel or Match, I don't know. Do you guys remember Match? Match is a really, really interesting one because that was from like long ago. So like Bumble, Match was like the first. It was the first one that basically people even kind of started using. I remember it went from Coffee Meets Bagel to Match. And, you know, I think when you think about apps like that, because I know people who've gotten married on Match. And so, you know, technology has really helped a lot of people find love. And there you have it right there on your screen, Match. And so it's very important that we recognize that, hey, modern day love takes us in different ways. But, you know, at the end of the day, love is love. And no matter how you find it, what matters is the love that you find and the connection that you find with the other person. You know, this cup, so my Los Cabos cup. So like I told you, I went to Mexico, and I told you I'd tell you the story. So I went to Mexico with my fiance, and yes, he's my fiance, and I'm very happy to say so because I do love him so much. And I love love, so I share my love that I feel. And we went to Mexico in Cabo. This was our first time we went. This is our very first time. I love talking to you from different angles. I'm here and then we're here. But this, and I still have, I have some coffee left from earlier. Wait a second. Wait. Let me drink a little bit of this before I keep talking to you. I'll share with you. It's still good. So we went to Mexico our first time. We went to Cabo. We went to those arches. And it was a really special time for us because it was one of our international trips we had taken right around after COVID. And, you know, we were nervous, but we had so much fun and we had a very good time. And so, yeah, I think it's so important that no matter how you find love, that when you find it, you treasure it and you honor it and you take care of it. So that is it talking to me about me and my fiance. He might be on the show one of these days, and when he will be on the show, I will talk to you about it. So when we return, we are going to get back to an amazing topic that you saw right on our thumbnail, which is all about the amazing Josh Fisher. So when we return, we're going to talk to the scientist and PhD professor from Chapman University, a climate scientist, Josh Fisher. This is going to be a great special, so I'll see you soon. Hey guys, chào mừng and welcome back. Now I want you to have the pleasure of enjoying a very special interview. I'm very happy, not only happy, rất vui, cho nhiều hạnh phúc, with a lot of happiness. I also feel very blessed to have had this awesome interview with an amazing ecosystem scientist at Chapman University from California, John B. Fisher. He is a leading expert on the ecosystem, and we're very excited to have him. So now you're going to get a chance to sit back and watch in beautiful environment. Me have the pleasure of interviewing Dr. Fisher all about the environment from Vietnam to help all of us in the globe, no matter where we live, have a better life. So, xin lắng nghe. Cảm ơn. Hello there, everyone. We are back again, and I'm so excited to be out here in the amazing sun in sunny California, and I'm with Dr. Josh Fisher. So remember I told you last week we were going to have a special treat, and we do. Josh Fisher is here. He is a professor here at Chapman University in Orange, California, and we're so glad to talk to him today about climate change and the things that we can do in making it accessible for us here và trong Việt Nam to help all people, tất cả người Việt Nam, to understand why it's so essential that we live a life that is in harmony with the earth. So Dr. Fisher, so good to have you.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, so tell me, how are you feeling today? We like to kind of breathe in and relax a little bit. Let it go.
The air quality is great.
Is the air quality good?
I checked the air quality monitors. We're good. Beautiful weather in November. Yeah.
Yes, it is a beautiful November. Tell us a little bit about what got you into being a doctor in the field that you're in science, and let us know a little about who you are.
Sure. Yeah. So I'm a climate scientist. I grew up in Los Angeles and Alaska. Kind of split time. My parents split when I was little, and I bounced back and forth between those two environmental opposites, LA in the 80s with all the smog and sprawling urban expansion, and Alaska, the kind of last frontier wilderness. And when I went to college at UC Berkeley in the San Francisco Bay Area, and when it came time to pick a major, I liked science, but I was indecisive, couldn't choose biology or chemistry or physics, and I wanted something that could kind of combine the sciences together. And environmental sciences was one of the ways I could do that and get a chance to get outdoors.
So you're an outdoors person.
You know, it's healthy. It's all about healthy, get outdoors, and you know, my Alaska days getting outdoors. So chose environmental science, and then as I was finishing up my degree there, you know, I need to focus that knowledge onto some sort of topic, and some of my friends and colleagues were focusing on some river or some plant or some animal, and you know, I couldn't narrow myself so detailed. I sensed something larger, a kind of a bigger interconnected picture, and this was before climate change had been kind of blown up. And so I eventually got interested in mathematical prediction of how the environment works. And that was kind of growing up in LA, where we had these mega droughts, running out of water, and I'd be putting on low flow shower heads on my mom's shower, and then I'd go visit my dad in Alaska, and we'd be putting on high flow shower heads. And as a child, that kind of struck me as like, what is going on here? Why can we not predict how much water we're going to have any given year? And so I started getting into the mathematical prediction of how much water we're going to have. So then I got involved in research as a student at Berkeley, really loved doing the research, and then wanted to keep doing research, so I stayed on at Berkeley for my PhD, and then I started playing with satellites, mostly because they're just cool toys in the sky.
For all you drone people out there, okay?
Yeah, I mean, this is like next level drone.
Okay.
And you know, really observing the Earth as a whole and monitoring water all over the planet, and at about that time, climate change blew up.
Yes.
And I was in a unique position of using cutting edge technology to monitor the whole Earth, how it flows, and how you can predict what happens.
Wow.
So then I finished my PhD, and I decided I'd been in California and LA and the Bay Area for a long time, and if I was going to be a global scientist, a global climate scientist, I needed to work globally. So I decided to get out of the US, and I moved to England. And so I took on a position at Oxford University there, working on climate modeling. And
Chúng ta phải lắng nghe. I just told him we have to listen to you because you went to Oxford in Europe.
Well, yeah, I don't know. I don't have the British accent. So,
That's
you know,
okay.
I mean, that was my main goal of going to Oxford, was to pick up a posh British accent.
But for fish and chips. I don't know what that was.
Clearly it's a failed, gig in the UK, because I still have my California accent. But one of the reasons was that when I went over there, one of the first things that we did was we actually got a big project in the Amazon. in Andes. So I actually went into the Amazon rainforest and cloud forest of the Andes for years.
In what country?
Mostly in Peru.
Peru, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
And was conducting a big experiment in the jungles, in the rainforest, in the cloud forest, and then eventually made my way out of the Amazon back to the UK, where I taught the students how to use satellites and things like that.
So your experience in the Amazon gave you the tools necessary to go back to Europe and back to Oxford, I take it?
Back to Oxford, yeah.
And you were able to teach the students about the satellites that you learned there?
Yeah, and so a lot of the work in the Amazon was things that we couldn't see from the satellites because it's so cloudy, because the trees are so dense and you can see what's going on
Right.
in the rainforest.
Is it the forest canopy there and all that? Yeah.
So you can do a lot from space, but you got to get on the ground sometimes, and you got to learn from the local knowledge, the indigenous knowledge, and the local experts too.
Did you spend time with the indigenous people?
Yeah.
What?
And we actually collaborated very closely, hired a lot of the local students there, and eventually connected them back to PhDs back in the U.S. or Europe, and now they've since graduated and now are professors back in Peru or wherever taking on. So it's really kind of connected the world scientifically through this type of experience.
So do tell me, experiencing as you have a kind of a global kind of, I say, diaspora in science, the science that you're studying, environmental science, what do you see right now are the potential areas in environment where as a globe we can connect on easier than we like to think? Because we like to think that environmental care is insurmountable. What are some areas you see that we can easily link together as a globe?
Yeah, and this challenge of global climate change and global environmental challenges is really an all hands on deck issue.
Yes.
You don't have to be a scientist or an engineer or even a politician to solve it all. We need everyone from every possible expert. I work with artists. I work with designers. I work with journalists, communicators. So everyone has something to offer, and everyone has a strength, and it's a matter of figuring out how to contribute your strength to the team. So I'm a big sports fan. I like basketball.
Okay, what sport do you like?
I'm a basketball fan.
What team?
I'm from LA, so
Okay.
I like Lakers.
Lakers.
But Clippers are cool.
Okay.
Spend time in the Bay Area, so the Warriors.
From Vietnam, we have a lot of Kobe fans.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Kobe and I are the same age, so
Okay.
I always saw Kobe thinking, wow, that could be me, but not really.
Maybe he's the hair.
Maybe the hair. I was like, why am I not getting his paid as much as
What kinds of things? I know you said you worked for NASA. You
Yes.
told me that.
Mm.
Tell me what that experience was like. Nãy là nhiều quan trọng cho mọi người. Dr. Josh Fisher sẽ nói về NASA. Please tell us about NASA.
Sure.
Yeah.
And a good sound effect as I hear a plane.
Yes.
I don't know it's one of ours. But at one point, NASA was calling for new mission ideas. What should we launch to space? And there was a guy at JPL named Simon Hook who, big leader in thermal technology, being able to measure temperature, the pulse of the temperature. And so he proposed a mission to study volcanoes. And the head of JPL mission said, I don't think that's what's hot right now, so to speak. And she said, we haven't at JPL been winning any of our mission concepts against the other NASA centers and other industry. And she said, we need some fresh, young blood, some new thought in this. Why don't you go talk to that new guy, Josh Fisher, in the corner?
Oh.
And I was like, so he came and he said, you know what? I'm going on vacation. You got 1 week to write a mission concept proposal. And so I was like, okay, I've never done this before, but by then I had kind of figured out how to tell science and communicate it. So I said, look, I'll, I can't promise that we'll win a mission, but I will promise that I will deliver a compelling science story.
Wow.
So I had 1 week. What did I do? I went home and I meditated for 4 days.
Meditation.
I did not write anything for 4 days, just meditated, thinking about the rules in my head. How much money did we have? How, what was our coverage? When was our launch date? How can I achieve science objectives within certain time frames? And after 4 days, I came out of my meditation and I wrote continuously for 3 days.
Dr. Josh Fisher, công in đây là new quan trọng.
And then I went in the next week handed them what I'd written. You know, they were a little skeptical. They started flipping through it, and they said, "Actually, this is pretty good. Let's greenlight this." And so suddenly things kicked in at JPL. I had the engineering team suddenly come in, the economists, the artists come in, and so it was this full production to actually turn this science idea into full-blown mission. Simon Hook came back from vacation. He's like, "What'd I miss?" I'm like, "We're good to go, man." Like,
wow.
So he's like, "Let's do this."
1 week.
1 week. So
1 week.
1 week. So then it took us about from Greenlight internally at JPL to write this full mission proposal of how we're going to build engineering and launch it. We submitted it, and it was selected. You know, some of your audience stretches across the globe, right?
Yes, in Vietnam.
In Vietnam.
Yeah,
and I mean, in Vietnam alone, if you think about all the countries in the world, Vietnam is in the top 5 most vulnerable countries to climate change.
Really?
I mean, there's not a lot of company in the top 5 there.
So let me ask you that,
Yeah.
tại sao, or why? Why is Vietnam so vulnerable?
Yeah, and I think some of your audience would know, you know, from experience, especially those
Right.
living in Vietnam or coming from Vietnam. Vietnam experiences floods.
Yes.
Vietnam experiences droughts.
Yes.
Vietnam has a hugely dense population along the coast,
Very much so.
which is subject to storm surges, sea level rise, typhoons, and so on, as well as a vulnerable population dependent on agriculture that could turn at the monsoon.
Wow.
Right.
Yes.
So it is a country that climate scientists are very concerned about in making sure that we protect it and it doesn't set kind of a domino effect down the line.
And places in Vietnam like Da Nang và Nha Trang, these are beach cities along the coast that I know experience what you're talking about. Have you discussed, or have you been in any discussions about ways that we can actually go to places practically to like Vietnam and help empower farmers to, you know, help us with the environment? I mean, what can we do for them?
Absolutely. And so actually NASA has a center in I think it's actually in Vietnam. It's in Southeast Asia. It might be Thailand, but it's about helping that region.
Okay.
And so, absolutely, just dealing with the region, Vietnam, Thailand, like Cambodia, the kind of the region has very similar challenges. Southeast Asia, more generally.
Okay.
And so, you know, so we've got a NASA hub there trying to like figure out how to help the communities, how to help the countries, how do we put our data into decision makers' hands across the world. Through my company Hydrosat as well, we're helping farmers across the world, right? Wow. So if you're a farmer working a rice paddy or working
tell them, Josh. Tell them.
If you're a farmer working a rice paddy, working a field of some sort,
Trong Vietnam lắng nghe.
And you could use information about your field. Where is it stressed? Especially if you're irrigating it. You know, maybe you're doing flood irrigation. Maybe you're having high value crops and, you know, with tree crops and having drip irrigation or whatever it might be. If you need to know kind of the health and the stress of your crop, our information, our data can now help you.
Places in Vietnam like Da Nang và Nha Trang, these are beach cities along the coast that I know experience what you're talking about. Have you discussed, or have you been in any discussions about ways that we can actually go to places practically to like Vietnam and help empower farmers to, you know, help us with the environment? I mean, what can we do for them?
Absolutely. And so actually NASA has a center in, I think it's actually in Vietnam. It's in Southeast Asia. It might be Thailand, but it's about helping that region.
Okay.
And so, absolutely, just dealing with the region, Vietnam, Thailand, like Cambodia, the kind of the region has very similar challenges. Southeast Asia, more generally.
Okay.
And so, you know, so we've got a NASA hub there trying to like figure out how to help the communities, how to help the countries, how do we put our data into decision makers' hands across the world. Through my company Hydrosat as well, we're helping farmers across the world.
Thank you so much for talking to us. In Vietnamese, we say "Cảm ơn." Cảm ơn. So come on, Dr. Josh Fisher. And the next time you really want to know more about science and environmental sustainability, I want you to take the time to look up Dr. Josh Fisher here at Chapman University and his company,
Hydrosat.
Hydrosat, is there a website they can go to?
Hydrosat.com.
Hydrosat.com, and we will talk more. You'll see right here a link to his website, as well as information for farmers in Vietnam who want to learn about data. If that's something that they want, you guys want, we'll make sure you get that. So, cảm ơn các anh chị, and till we see you next time, always live with love, laughter, and light in your heart, and on to the next. Take care, guys. See you later. Did you guys enjoy that? I hope you did, because I really did enjoy that interview. I want to say a big thank you to Dr. Josh Fisher for really sharing your thoughts, your experiences, and your feelings on the environment, our world today, and how companies like Hydrosat can really help us move forward the needle of understanding for our societies, our economy, and for people as a whole in our world and right here in America. So, cảm ơn, Dr. Fisher. You did a good job saying cảm ơn. And we look forward to seeing more of what you do and getting even more dialed in to what I say is our Mother Earth, and getting closer to looking after her. So now we're going to take another break, and when we return, we're going to talk a little bit about kindness. Our world is in a lot of turmoil right now, and we need more bin an. So when we return, let's talk a little bit about that, about peace. I'll see you soon. And now let's talk a little bit today about kindness and, well, I guess we're going to say it, random acts of kindness. You know, in our world today, a lot of people wish they had more kindness. I love when people are good to one another. Trong tiếng Việt, kindness nói lòng tốt và quan tâm đến nhau, or care for one another. Quan tâm đến nhau. That is so important, to look after one another, to show kindness. And, you know, it was the kindness of so many people in my life that got me to where I am today. You know, my mom had me, my biological mother had me very young, and it was a very hard life, and I didn't always have it easy, and I grew up in different parts of my life without a home, and it was very difficult, and as a child. And it was the kindness of, you know, many different people who guided me in some way, you know, through their words to help me. And so I thank those people. If you're watching today, and if you know me, I just want to say thank you for just whispers in my ear. I remember when I was in high school, Mr. Ujima, he told me, he said, you know, Dom, you can do this. You know, you just have to do the work. No one's going to do it for you, but you can do this. And it was important that my high school counselor said that, because I was able to get out of a bad life and being, in foster care, and I graduated and was able to go to college and just achieve so many things. So kindness is really important. I'd like to share with you then some wonderful, interesting little videos about kindness. So right now what we're going to do is I'm going to have you take a moment at this brief video. It's just a cute little animation that I thought would warm your heart like it did mine in this holiday season about kindness. Take a look.
Sometimes it's easy to feel like the world's getting harder. But if we look closer, on the news, on the web, on the street, we're anything but unkind. Every day, we hear new stories of people trying to make the world a better place. And together, we can make the world that little bit kinder for all of us.
When we are kind to someone, we change their lives. We change our lives. And we help create a ripple effect in our world today that is able to send out more vibrations of love. And we need to do that. We need to send out more vibrations of love, because the fear and the hatred that is out there right now, it's there. We see it. It's painful. It's difficult to watch our country, the world, suffer so much. Chúng ta phải giúp người. We should help people. Chúng ta phải yêu người. We must love people. Chúng ta phải lắng nghe người. We must listen to people. This is what we get to do. This is so important. I want to share with you some interesting just pictures that mean something to me and have made me feel the love of kindness from other humans. So the first one I want to show you is the one of Grandpa George. And Grandpa George means so much to me because of the very moment that I met them right there on their porch, and it was instant connection. It was instant care. And, there was no barriers. There were no barriers. It was just like a lot of love and care. And this is what I mean by longtot, kindness. This is what I mean by the kindness that we need in the world today. I want to share with you something else that a picture that I enjoy doing, which is I love yoga. And this picture here that you're seeing is a picture of a kind, dear person, a friend of mine, Jaideep, and he is a caring person with a good heart. And it was just, I had finished yoga like I always do, and we were just having a good conversation about life and everything. And it's that kindness and those conversations that make me feel so whole, in my day. Those real, genuine, authentic conversations. Also, too, there's something to be said about when we show love to people who need it. When we show people the love that they need. That right there is so important. Because a lot of times, you don't know what someone is dealing with at home. You don't know what pains they're enduring, what challenges in marriage, with children, with work. You don't know. And yet, when you provide love and you give love, that right there can change someone's day. It can change their emotion, changes my emotions, and it can change your life. So, lomtok, kindness. Please, xin có lomtok. Please have peace. And please show peace. And please show kindness. Bình an, lòng tốt, quan tâm đến nhau. Này là nhiều quan trọng cho mọi người. So, where in your life have you been kind? Where in your life can you be kind? And where in your life can you be kind, lomtok, to yourself? So I'm so happy that we got a chance to talk about all these amazing topics. And I really, truly, truly feel that this holiday season is all about love and kindness. So when we get back, we'll say our goodbyes. I'll tell you how much I love you. So I love you. And we'll share a few closing thoughts. I'll see you soon. All right, guys, that is our show. I really hope you had an amazing time. Again, I want to say a huge thank you to Dr. Fisher. Thank you so much for an amazing interview. You are quite an amazing human being, and no doubt you are changing our world. And we look forward to seeing all the greatness that you continue to accomplish. I also want to give a huge thank you to all of you who were so kind to give me your thoughts and opinions about what it's like to be dating and out there in the world. And you remember the little story I was going to share with you about what happened to me, when I used an app? And I do want to share that with you. We're going to save that for next week. And really kind of talk about that, because I think it requires a deeper conversation, okay? So next week, our show is going to be fun because we are thick in the holiday season. I'm super happy. I love the holidays. And so we're going to go into the holly jolly holiday season, and we are so excited for that amazing season that we are in. The lights are everywhere. The joy of the Christmas trees are everywhere. Thanksgiving is on its way here in America, and so we're super excited. Next week is our holly jolly holiday show. It's going to be really, really fun. I hope you get excited for the set. We're going to have Christmas trees, and I'm excited for that. And also, we're going to talk about Black Friday deals. So that's going to be really fun because I know everyone loves to go shopping. We're going to talk about the hottest things to buy, what is the best thing to buy on Black Friday to wait for, what has the biggest drops. So we're going to talk about all of that, and it'll kind of get you ready for your shopping and everything. So listen, guys, totally tune in to us every single Friday right here, 5 p.m. We are so glad that we got time together today. So I want to say once again to remember, som good you. Always love, always have joy in your heart. Follow me on Instagram. You can see a little bit about all the things that I do, my work as a civil rights activist, as well as in the communities that I serve. And also, too, continuing on in our brand new fresh season, we're going to have some amazing travel. Yes, so you're going to see some amazing parts of our world, and we're going to have fun together, you and I, my family. Okay, you're my yadin, my family, and I'm your family. And together, as one, we are going to love, enjoy, and keep living this life, always finding the reason back towards the center of who we are so we can live our life's purpose and live our dreams, and may they all come true. Okay, guys, I love you. I'll see you soon. Come on, take care. And until we meet again, I'll see you on the flip side.